backs, an average of 5 per game. They start with Hassan Haskins, more of the power back. He's the nothing. You saw the numbers he put up, led them back. They won in triple overtime. He played only the first half last week against Northern Illinois. There's a powerful run by Haskins on 2/3 of their drives. And as you saw in the graphic, they are a run-heavy team. 75% of the plays.
Action, jet sweeps, all the things that you want to do on the perimeter are better because of the way they're running the football.
Out of the gun, Blake Corum into the game now. He's the speedier of the two to go quickly on 3rd down and 1 in Rutgers territory. Corum looked like he got just enough before he got 6 plays, all of them runs. Hassan Haskins back in. He falls full. These teams has turned it over through 3 games this season. The only other team in the country that has not committed a turnover is Louisiana Monroe. McNamara looks like he's going to throw for the first time and it is incomplete.
He's on 3rd down.
There's 3rd and 8.
Man, look again. Free safety back. Press coverage on the outside.
Only Boston College has been better on 3rd down defense in the country than Rutgers so far this year. 3rd and 8 is a running play through a big hole, and Corum has the first down. Lee is a veteran offensive line.
See, these linebackers, they get caught in the wash with these big offensive linemen. Good play call by Josh Gaddis going with the run.
Michigan continues on the move. Here's the 10th play of the drive. 8 runs so far. They get 9. Trying to make an hour-and-a-half commute every day each way to get from his home in Virginia to Baltimore. Nice throw by
Receivers here. That means single coverage here. Hold that safety in the middle of the field and throw the quick slant. Good read and a good timing throw by Cade McNamara on the slant versus man coverage.
100%. We have full faith and confidence in McNamara in our passing attack.
And he can do it.
Corum mentioned his power at 5'8" guard. Avery Young, and Myjai made the tackle, and Michigan goes quickly again. Corum has the first down inside
at the point of attack, and they just kind of bludgeon you. We've seen them do it to non-conference opponents. Now they're doing it to Rutgers in this opening drive.
Reminiscent of Harbaugh's teams at Stanford, this formation on the goal line. Haskins stumbled as he took. Michigan didn't substitute, so they go quickly. It's McNamara. Crowd thought he got in. The officials have not signaled touchdown yet.
On this play.
He runs up for a touchdown.
We've been seeing this is an extra offensive lineman. These are all 3 tight ends, and watch the lead block by Eric All. This is power Michigan football. Great job by opportunities.
They held it for 17 plays as they marched down the field. 15 runs on the opening drive. McNamara, receiver Eric All wide open. By how wide open he was, there was nobody there to tackle him.
I mean, he's wide open because 2 Rutgers guys are running away from him. It's almost like it was a blown coverage, obviously. 2 guys running to the flat.
Of the season, his 5th catch. Now he goes in motion, leading the way for Corum. We got a conference opener for both teams. Mountaineers haven't defeated Oklahoma since West Virginia joined the conference in 2012. Cade McNamara to the speedster Roman Williams. Scarlet Knights in those 3 games against Temple, Syracuse, and Delaware. Very quickly, 1st and goal for the Wolverines. Haskins,
watch 84 get the double team. You get Schoonemaker, the other tight end, turning his guy out. Well, Michigan, we talked about their running game. Their base play is kind of a power gap scheme. They use the lineman, the tight end, they block down on the play side. They pull from the backside to get more numbers, and then inside zone. That's the other play they like. They cut off the backside with the tight end. It's just common basic power football, but their execution level right now.
Guy's degree in movement science. That's part of being an offensive line, moving the opponent.
The ball and all of his offensive staff.
23-yard gain on the completion to Johnson, junior from Greenwich, Connecticut. Corum.
Like the way he carries himself. I think the team really believes in him.
Corum driven back.
He gets in a little different stance. This time, instead of going right on that side of center, he actually uses his quickness, gets to the other side of Vastardis into the backfield. He's a little undersized.
He's enjoyed having that extra year, but he said he's ready to go when this season ends. He's been in college for a long time. McNamara throws, end zone! And he has a career-long field goal of 52. That was 2 weeks ago here against Washington. All 4 Michigan games so far this year have been here. First time since 2016. They've opened with 4 straight home games. They're in field goal range and then some. Mike Sabra still down the sideline and up back. Still doing everything they can to protect the players. This is first and goal, and they did. A young man who came back for another season, in large part to play in games like this. And you take him out for something that really wasn't malicious. The incomplete pass yesterday around noon, and he was ready to play yesterday afternoon. He was amped up and fidgety and ready to go.
Yeah.
Cade McNamara throws short, caught
As well.
rotating into their Z receiver position. Ronnie Bell was the lead. Well, he went down for the ear of the knee.
Inside the tackle, but have not done a great amount of damage.
It's not as if they've gotten away from the run. They've only thrown it 13 times in the game, and the Rutgers defense looks.
Rutgers has done a nice job of really stacking it up inside. I think Michigan's got to try to probe the perimeter a little bit.
McNamara throws over the middle, incomplete.
Lineman and Max Melton, one of their starting corners, not in the ball game and playing pretty valiantly right now.
Turner ejected for targeting. Melton suspended prior to the game. McNamara throws off the hands of
Sure, they always do that. They crowd the line of scrimmage. Doesn't mean they're going to rush. They only rush 3.
and they still get pressure. McNamara on the run is across the line of scrimmage now, and he does not get the first
Into that drop. Now let's see what Michigan can do. Can they get their run game revved up again here in the 4th quarter?
With 3 straight 3-and-outs, Hassan Haskins cannot get revved up on that.
Negating this powerful Michigan run game.
Blake Corum.
Abandoned the run. They just have not been able to be productive. And another loaded box look for Rutgers.
Will Michigan throw against it? Yes, McNamara will. Out wide and short. Basically, as Michigan went up and down the field. Still leading by 7. Blake Corum, finally some running room.
Feel momentum going away from Michigan. They're being outgained, and yet they've led the entire game. And they have a chance to seal it with the drive here. Wow.
Cade McNamara managing the game. Some people call them game managers as if it's an insult to a quarterback. Said it's a good thing. You manage the game well. Blake Corum. McNamara out of the pistol with Corum behind him, likely to carry again.
That was a face mask.
Yep, and the crowd saw it. And the one timeout remaining really hurts. Corum got ranked opponents. Only Kansas has a longer active losing streak. I would think they'd use the timeout here as they stop that play.
Yep, Greg Schiano just potentially down 2 scores.
Huge play here. McNamara faked the handoff to Corum.